Politics is always one of those topics that get people animated, and generally the conversation usually branch off into polarizing views. And instead of trying to find common ground, instead of trying to see what we agree on, instead of trying to look at the commonalities in the issues that are affecting all of us, our views tend to be split based on which political party we are in support of. And I was thinking this morning, and I'm looking at the political architecture of Jamaica and the way that the political landscape is set up right now. It is set up in such a way that it generates corruption. That is why Jamaica is so high on the corruption index, because Jamaica does not have any meaningful checks and balances. Let us start with the ballot box. So, when you go to the polls to vote, many people vote for the Prime Minister, not their member of Parliament, or they vote for the party, not the member of Parliament. Um, I haven't voted in the last two elections because my vote is in St. Anne. I made two attempts to get my vote, to have it moved, and the process was just I don't remember when the first time the second time I went, the person was kind of very rude and dismissive, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to cuss that girl here, so let me just come out of the place because voting is not that it is that serious, right? So I don't remember what they told me that I had to do. I think at one point we were changing the ID thingy, and so there was, I don't know if they had put, I don't know, but I don't remember what I don't want to tell you, I don't remember what I was told, but I didn't like the response, and I just decided, fuck it, I'm just not that, because I left my yard gas center and go vote, we're not doing it. So when in the instances I voted twice, and in those instances I did not know the MP. I didn't know who the MP was. I was just voting for Bruce because I was tired of the PNP and them bullshit. And the second time I was voting for Andrew because of the minimum wage and their manifesto looked better. But I did not know who the MP was for that particular constituency because one, I was not living in the constituency, my vote was there, right? So that's why I went and I cast my vote. So where I'm actually living, I couldn't vote in this specific area because the vote is in St. Anne. So I had to go to St. Anne and vote. So of course I voted for the Prime Minister, who I wanted to be in charge of the government. And that is the situation that many Jamaicans who go to the polls are arrested with. Because we see it happen time and time again. The party flings somebody down on one safe seat because they expect that the people are going to vote. And so the people vote for the party or the Prime Minister and not the literal member of Parliament who is supposed to be representing that specific constituency. And my recommendation is that we need to have the people vote separately. You put the prime ministerial candidates on the ballot as well as the MPs. So you're casting two votes. One vote is for the Prime Minister and one vote is for your member of Parliament. So that in and of itself will give people real choices in terms of who they cast their votes for. And failing that, I think whoever gets the popular vote should be the Prime Minister automatically. Full stop. Then we have the the word is, I think it's interconnectivity. That's not the word, but I'm going to use that. The interconnectivity of roles. A member of Parliament should only have one job, to represent the people. So when they go in Parliament, that's the only job they have under their belt. You cannot be a member of Parliament, the Deputy Prime Minister, a Senator, a Cabinet member, and every other fucking else. That makes no sense. Because when things are going wrong in these areas, how are you then going to be a your job, because this is your primary job, your primary role, we put you in Parliament to represent us. That's your job. How are you then going to do that job when you have all these other roles in government? And if you're the Minister of Education, and people are not satisfied with education, how are you then, as a member of Parliament representing the people of your constituency, going to speak on the issues of education in Parliament when you are the minister? So you can see the conflict of interest there. When you're a senator or a cabinet member, it's the same thing. Your allegiance is to the party. And you have to vote based on the trajectory that the party wants to go and not in the best interest of your constituents. So it is my view that even I think the Prime Minister should be somebody that is elected by that is different from once you are elected by the people as a member of, you should not hold any other position but member of Parliament, because you are going to be the check and the balance on the government as that arm. MPs should only have one role. Once you go and you put your name on the ballot as a member of Parliament, that's the only job you have. Ministers of government should be technocrats. The Minister of Education should be a doctor or someone who holds a PhD or a master's in public health administration. The Minister of Finance should be a chartered public accountant, or someone who holds a master's or a PhD in finance and accounting. The Minister of Foreign Affairs should be someone who holds a master's in international relations, or government and politics. These should be technocrats that are hired to carry out the job, and they don't change with administration, unless of course they do. Just like when you have the Auditor General, is not a political person. The Auditor General just did it, and if she's not doing her job, she can be called before Parliament, and both sides gets to question her because they don't have a skin in the game. You're the Auditor General, that is not a party thing. So the MPs can now do their job in questioning. The same thing with the Integrity Commission. They man some bullshit. You call them before a House committee, and they have to defend themselves because there is no politics being played here. Because it's like, okay, well, a PMP people no. The Speaker of the House too should be somebody who has a master's in public public relations or communication. Somebody who is not affiliated with any party or a lawyer. Full stop. Because what we have is this, charade of checks and balances or accountability, and that is why we have, the festering of corruption, because there are too many roles overlapping. Senators, the people who make laws, should be from the legal profession. A mix of legal and civil. Technocrats. Most of these people don't know the money. Anybody in Jamaica can be a member of parliament. You don't need any qualification to be an MP. I know you become a goddamn MP and you're in a parliament and make bumbo clat law when you don't slack about. That makes no sense. We need to change the governance structure of the country. Once you're an MP, that's your only job. Every other role in government, from the ministers to the senators to the cabinet, must be selected. So government should have an HR department, and HR hires these people. Oh, we need somebody for Minister of Finance, and these are the qualifications. Full stop. And anybody from civil society can go apply for the job of Minister of Government. Simple one too. Because the corruption has to stop. I am sick, and there is no meaningful representation that is happening in our parliament, because we have all these roles that are commingling, and in that commingling corruption festers, and it is the people who suffers.